Okay. Says we're live. Hopefully that is true. Happy Monday. It is the 13th. We are now in the week that is the middle of the month, which is crazy. Crazy that we're already reaching the mid-month point. Oops. I forgot to switch that over to videos so that I can access the timers. But yeah, so we have slightly more than half, just slightly more than half of the month left in which to do all of the things that we want to do in July, which is kind of crazy. So we're starting this week, hopefully on the correct foot, trying to get all of our ducks in a row, trying to plan for the week, trying to get a rolling start with word counts, all of that good stuff. So yeah, so that's where we are. I may have to go back to the kitchen and get some soda, depending on brain capacity and all of that. Sort of trying to figure out. I would like to do no caffeine again, and sort of like, because typically my caffeine drinks come in sort of like waves, and then I get extremely over caffeinated, and then I'm like, ooh, this needs to not happen. So I am sort of in the midst of that, and I'm like, okay, we need to decide whether we're going to go caffeine or no caffeine. But at the moment, we have not caffeinated yet today, but that may have to change. Monique says, happy Monday. You're almost halfway through the month and T-minus 11 days to your vacation. Nice. That'll be exciting. I can't remember if you said where you're going to go, but hopefully it'll be a very nice and enjoyable vacation. So yeah. I did get started on the next square, the next granny square. So I have the first square, which is, I have a teeny tiny bit of the skein left, which I think will be great for joining the squares together. But yes, this is my first skein, and I'm working on the second. So I have 5 of the same dye lot. And I'm hoping that will be enough, but I may have to get one more skein. I don't know. We'll see. All you can say right now is California. Gotcha. Perfectly fine if you don't want to reveal where you're going to be, that's perfectly fine. It's probably safer that way. Let's see. Monique says, ooh, not sure if I told you, but Rita loves crocheting while listening to audiobooks. I have tried this, and I'm not great at it because I'm constantly like counting in my brain. Because whatever it is that I'm doing usually requires counting. And so I'm not great at listening to someone talk and mentally counting at the same time. So for me, unfortunately, I have not been able to do that. I know that there's quite a few people who, when they're doing arts and crafts, will put on like a show that they have watched like 10,000 times because it doesn't like matter as much if they miss something. Yeah, I don't know. You knit while you watch TV and you don't count stitches. Yeah. Well, it's like for this particular project, I don't need to count stitches quite as much. So maybe I can try it again. Sorry, with this project. But things like the amigurumis, the stuffed animals, I have to count, because if I don't, they're going to end up real wonky. And then I also have to make sure that, like, I don't have to frog 5 rows, so it's just a process. So yeah. Okay. We need a cat for the day, and we need a card for the day, and then we need to, I guess, state our intentions in terms of like, what are we planning on trying to get done? So our cat for the weekend is a cute little black and white cat. And then we have I think what they call tortoiseshell for today. So our black and white kitty has a poetry pause. Into the woods, I often think life is not all black and white. Sometimes there's also pink, aka my cute nose. So here is this very adorable black and white and pink floof ball. Very cute. Okay, and then we have out of treats. Gee, sure would be a shame if these lovely plants crashed to the floor, wouldn't it? So we have a cat who is unhappy that you have run out of treats and is threatening your potted plants in return. So, which, to be fair, does sound like some of the cats I know. So, what a cute tuxie. Yes. The first little kitten floof ball. Very cute. Okay, we have the turkey, and it is in the inverse position, upside down. It's number 61. Okay. Here's our turkey. Give with gratitude and grace. Is it going to focus? It's trying to focus on my shoulder rather than the turkey. Okay, so we have the turkey, but it's in the upside down position. So are you giving in order to receive in kind, keeping tally of how much you have given and what is owed you? This is not the way to experience abundance. When the turkey is in the protective position, it is a reminder to let go of any perception of scarcity or fear that if you give too much, you will not have enough for yourself. Use your spiritual practices to reconnect with spirit and remember how it feels to embody abundance, and you will give as much as is needed right now. Know that whatever you need to fill your stores is coming to you right now. Love, prosperity, knowledge, and assistance from allies who are everywhere and want you to be the abundance that you seek. The turkey is here to tell you that everything evens out when you are aligned with the law of abundance as the universe wants you to be. Abundance is yours. So there you go. There is our card for the day. It's a nice reassurance that there's always enough to go around. All right. So my goal is I need to set up a couple things for this week in my journal. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I'm also expecting a call back from a doctor's office. So if my phone rings and I have to answer that, apologies, but I do need to answer that in a timely fashion. What else? Okay, so attend to the bullet journal, update those. Then I think I can re-outline a portion of the story because we're back at that point. So re-outline what I've changed and then sort of what I think we're headed to. So I'm going to be doing some re-outlining today. So I'm hoping for at least 1,000 of re-outlining and making sure that things are up up to snuff on the, although I don't know why that phrase up to snuff is the one that I chose, but yeah. All right. Let's put the flower timer on. Put the banner as the first sprint. You're going to be writing scenes that introduce Lexi's family. Nice. Excellent. Okay. I feel like we're starting a little early today, but that's okay. Maybe we'll get a little bit more done today. So, 1, pull your document up if you haven't already done so. If you have already pulled your document up, now's a great time to save it. And it's going to wake up. Just thinking about it. There it is. Okay. 2, make sure that you have something to hydrate with and take a sip. Cheers. 3 is to straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. How was our first sprint? I got the things in this week scheduled. Got some of the longer trackers updated for what happened over the weekend. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Starting with the re-outlining. So I'm kind of having to switch back and forth between documents because I have the outline on a different document than the actual manuscript. So I'm sort of going back and forth and sort of making sure that I have the updated what is happening currently in the manuscript, as well as like I'm changing the font color to sort of like a gray when I've decided I'm no longer going to use that point. So that way I still have a notation that this is what I originally intended to do, so that if I decide that that's a better plot point, then I can always come back to it. I don't think it's likely at this point, but just in case. So yeah, so started re-outlining the portion to, well, I should say updating the outline document to reflect the things that I've changed and the things that I intend to change. So I'll be in this document for a little bit, that's for sure. Let's see. Stacy popped in and said, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, how are you? Diane sneaks into the back row with her coffee and to-do list. Very nice. Good, good, good. I'm glad that you are here. And hopefully we can help you accomplish that to-do list by cheering you on. I'm unable to do the things for you, but I am able to cheer you on. Monique is currently trying to figure out if your idea for cosplaying Lilo is okay. You don't want to do anything relating to cultural appropriation. Yeah, I mean, but it's, I don't know. Maybe you could do your own spin and essentially do a Filipino version of Lilo, seeing if that would maybe work. Diane is doing your own research to see if a certain photo that has been released is real or not. Oh, well, it's always good to do research. Hopefully you can tell eventually. Stacy says, I am tired. Same. You were outside all day yesterday on a boat. Ooh, the heat and the reflected glare will definitely, yeah. You're waiting for 3 packages that should be delivered via USPS, and this is the time that the mail usually comes. So you're impatiently waiting. Yeah. But make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you slather on some skin recovering lotion. I don't know if you got sunburned or not. I'm hoping not. It's going to be your own version because you won't go with Hawaiian prime dress, which makes sense. Yeah. Also, it's storming again. Yeah, we've been having thunderstorms. Oddly enough, like a couple of them happened in the morning, which doesn't usually happen. Usually it's afternoon. Yeah, so we're expecting to get a light chance of rain in the next hour. Yeah. And that chance of rain goes up to about 60% chance by the 6 p.m. hour. And then we still have like a okay, decent chance of rain up until like midnight. So afternoon showers. You also won't wear a lei, just a red printed dress with a red bag and a white hat for sun protection. Nice. Sometimes simple is best. Becca is here. Hello. Hello. Welcome. How are you? How are you and what are you working on today? I think I am going to have to get some soda, some caffeine. Maybe I can get a cup of tea instead of soda. Maybe that'll be better. Stace says, I was under a canopy and you were wearing a hat. You also switched between soda and water, literally like every other mouthful, so you were not super concerned about dehydration. Gotcha. But the rocking of the boat, yeah, you still felt the swaying as you were trying to go to sleep. That, yeah. Becca says, I think I'm going to beta read, but also I need to sew. Yeah, I know that feeling. I've got to decide what I'm going to make for Bestie's littles because their birthdays are coming up. So I've got to decide what I'm going to make them. So I already gave them a fox and a dino. So now I have to not do one of those. Monique says, I also started to write in Lexi's family, introducing them at the engagement party. Lexi is going to be part of a foster family. Okay, so that can make the introductions a little convoluted sometimes, right? Diane sat outside for a while looking into art history and images of ravens while watering plants and letting Pancho do his thing. Ooh. So is there any particular image of a raven that you are anticipating, like that you're going to be, are you recreating one for your master's studies type of thing? From what I understand, and from the few foster people and adopted kids that I have met, their families are all, they have their birth family. They oftentimes have some half siblings, not always, but oftentimes. They have their foster family. Sometimes they have more than one foster family if they've been bounced multiple times. So there's often, and there's the kids that they met in the system that they become heart siblings with, if you will. And so introducing who everybody is amongst a foster family can get somewhat convoluted. You won't necessarily, if you're meeting them for the first time, know that cousin Joey isn't like a blood cousin, but is the heart sibling of one of the foster kids. You know, you won't necessarily know that the first time you meet them, but it might come up in conversation. Like, I don't know, depending. So that's what I mean by convoluted. You got to say sang with the twang. You're working on mini paintings, and you would like to have at least have the brain. You're working on mini paintings and would like to have a few examples. The last examples you make be bird related if possible, just because we have feeders in the yard, so hence birds. Gotcha. To be fair, Rita and her extended family are also a chosen family. Yeah. So, but sometimes if you are meeting for a first time and you're like, oh, who's this? Oh, this is my sibling. You know, this is my brother. This is my sister. This is my cousin. This is my foster sister. This is my biological step sister type. And oftentimes it gets very confusing, but also like if you are nosy, it just piques your interest. And I'm like, how does this work? But also they oftentimes don't really want to discuss it if they don't know you work very well. So you like heart sibling. Yeah. They need an image of the thumb where it hyperextends. I'm like, I need my wonky thumbs. This is not, this just feels boring. I'm like, yes. the hyperextension on the thumb. I'm sorry. It's just, maybe I don't need the caffeine. Stacy says, I'm also tired from writing because you wrote 4K on Saturday. Wow. You wanted to get a few extra words in so you could take yesterday off, but 4K was overkill. Yeah, there are days where usually if I get in excess of 5,000 words in a day, I'm like, oof, my brain feels tired, very, very tired for like the next 2 days. I think I have only done 10K in a day twice. And both times I was useless for almost a full week afterwards. I was like, my brain just can't think of anything. It's thought of everything already. It's tired. So 10,000 days are a no-no for me anymore because I am so useless after the fact. Nick says, I'm trying to keep Lexi's family simple. Gotcha. Your brother from another mother is often mistaken for your hubby. Yeah, that also could happen. You have a similar convoluted family situation in the story that you are currently writing. Yes. Yeah. Your brother from another mother, you've been friends for 40 plus years, and his wife is little, but she could take. That's oftentimes the littlest ones can. They are often very scrappy and sometimes very dangerous. Stacy says, until like the last 300 words, they were just flowing, so you weren't complaining. Yeah, when you get a day like that, it's amazing. And it's fantastic. But it's like when you set out to have that big goal, it's a lot. Becca says, I've never been able to do a 10K day, or if I have, I wasn't paying attention to the word count. It's only since authortube that you started keeping track of your daily word count. Yeah. So sometimes you might have, and it might have just been like a flow state day, which is amazing. If I could get 10,000 in a flow state, that would be fantastic. But generally, no. I'm trying to think. There may have only been one time that I did that, and that was when I had an external deadline. It was. I'm trying to remember how many words it was actually. We had an assignment for my detective fiction class, and that was we were supposed to be writing our own detective fiction short story. And like I knew that I wanted a kid detective, and the professor specified, he was like, there must be a dead body on the first page. Has to be. I was like, damn it. Well, because I didn't want to kill anybody in the story because it was supposed to be a little kid story. So I'd killed a teddy bear. And anyway, so this paper, that one was fine. I wrote that like way ahead of time, but then we had to do a second and a third. And so I was like, okay. So I think it was the second one, the second short story with the same character. They were supposed to kind of like be like chapters, but I was like, well, it's a kid's book. It's going to be its own story, type of thing. That second one, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. And so I left it to like very last minute. And so I wrote from like midnight to 6 a.m. on the day that it was due. The class was in the afternoon, so I was able to take a nice nap. But I think I wrote close to, it was somewhere between 15 and 20,000 words. I think, if I'm remembering right. It might not have been that much, because then I'd have had to cut it down a lot. It wouldn't have been that much. Okay, maybe it wasn't as impressive. It felt impressive at the time. But it probably wasn't that much. It's probably just loopy from being up from midnight till 6 a.m. Honestly. But yeah, the external deadlines help so much. I will say that. The external deadlines are fantastic. Your hubby just sits there. Yep, that's her hubby. Yeah. You gotta love secure men, right? CB says, I boiled eggs and toast for lunch. You boiled your toast? Oh, no. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You have gotten 10K in a day, but then paid for it mentally for days after. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, my brain is completely useless after the fact for like so many, like clear, almost probably a week. There was 1 year that you won Nano in 14 days. You have a lot of high word counts. You think like several 6 and 7K days in a row. You have never matched that, and you don't really want to. Yeah. It's a lot. No, not since they screwed up royally multiple times. Yeah, Nano no longer really exists. Yeah. I think Nano 2.0 is sort of struggling, but very much sort of obscured by the shadow of the scandals. So Becca says, same in my 20s, I wrote a screenplay in a day because you had a deadline. It was about 17K. Yeah. Yeah. That answers Diane's question. You thought so. You thought maybe it had come back. Nope. Now that you're in your 50s, that's not going to happen. You are wiser and know to pace yourself now. Diane says, I have posters from being a liaison back in the day that you want to declutter. Well, then declutter them. Somebody else will love them. Nano existed back when you wrote that story in 2022, 2023. And while it doesn't in the same form anymore, it doesn't change the past. Yes. Yeah. CB's shortest Nano ever was like 10 days, which is so impressive. So very, very impressive. Kara's here. Hello. Just finished up with the EDA Recovering Together Step Study Writing Meeting. Nice. Diana's laughing at Becca's. Now that you're older, you won't do that anymore. You usually say that Nano WCW'd itself. I mean, yeah. Kara says, when I did Nano, I would literally have a mental breakdown and be mired in self-loathing for a month. You did it to yourself year after year. It's no wonder you got burned out. There's a lot of people that get burned out on Nano. Yeah. Because it encourages certain habits and certain behaviors, which for certain people is not good. So I think it's worth trying once in your lifetime, but I don't think it's worth doing it repeatedly. If you figure out that it's bad for you, I don't think it's worth repeating. Diane did declutter some, then across, then more the other days. Okay, gotcha. You've been in this house for 6 months and you already need to declutter again. That's part of the process of life because we're always bringing stuff in. That's the thing. Kara's suggesting if you liked the NaNoWriMo's style, try AutoCrit's Novel 90 instead. They do it 3 times a year and it's free, although the free account doesn't have some of the features of the Pro. They also have sprints as well. Yeah. Okay. Don't forget to answer the poll. The poll is lifted straight out of one of the podcasts that I watch. It's on the food something or other channel. Can't remember. But they ask their podcast guests, usually celebrities, a quick fire round of questions about the kinds of food. And one of them is, what's your favorite way to eat eggs? Or what's the best way to eat eggs type of thing. So fried, scrambled, deviled, or in a cake. Those are my options. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the second sprint. Don't forget to 1, save your document. 2, take a sip. Cheers. 3, string your spine. roll your shoulders for that posture check. And 4 is if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in, oops, I need to rewind this. And also share it. Nope, didn't need to do that. Okay, here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That was our second sprint. How'd we do? I feel like I got a decent amount done. Like not a humongous amount done, but a decent amount done. I finished doing the updating of the outline for what I have already rewritten. And I've started on the new plot adjustments. So I think we're doing okay. How about you? How we doing? Diane Facebooked. That's okay. I think I was watching, there's a lady who lives on Svalbard and posts about her life, an island near the North Pole. Her name is Cecilia. What's her last name? Can't remember her last name. Anyway, she posts pretty regularly, at least once a week, generally. And so her video yesterday was helping a friend get one of the off-grid cabins ready for sale. And she was saying that they were posting the notice for the open house and the sale on Facebook Marketplace. She said that they had talked to a realtor and the realtor was like, just go ahead and post it. And like, I'll, prep the paperwork once you get an offer that you are wanting to consider. And so they were sort of laughing about how on Svalbard, so much of their goods are sold or purchased secondhand, third hand, however many hands, just trading amongst the Svalbard residents because in order for it to be considered trash, it has to get shipped to the mainland and then dealt with there. And so then the resident has to pay for shipping it to the mainland. Anyway, so they were getting ready to sell this like $400,000 very nice cabin. It has electricity but no running water. But hey, I'm sure that it will be sold pretty quickly. But anyway, so if you can buy a house, basically, if you can buy a cabin on Facebook Marketplace, there's just like no reason not to occasionally look at it, right? Okay, so we had a little bit more conversation about quantity versus quality that Nano tends to encourage. And somebody was mentioning the rough draft challenge lets you pick the lower word count number so that you can focus on quality. Stacy's packages arrived, so now you have 10 books, including the one that came yesterday, to enter into the Libib. Yeah, I had to enter my new books into Libib. So have fun with that. Shouldn't take you too long. When it comes to wedding gifts, do you buy for the engagement party and the bridal shower? Yes. Yes. Generally, there's like they have a registry, and so you pick multiple things off the registry to purchase. And so you can do one gift for the engagement party, one gift for the bridal shower, so things like that. And then sometimes you also give a gift at the wedding itself. So multiple gifts, yes. Stacy says, I don't know what is traditional, but I think if you are only going to one, you get a gift for that. But if you are invited to both, you pitch which one you want to give a gift at. Oh, I was always taught you do multiple. However, like if they've asked for, like a $500 vacuum, I feel like you can get away with just giving that once, I feel like you don't have to give more once you have like a past a certain threshold of monetary value, but for small things, like generally multiples. Wealthy families may give both, but you think the average family would not expect to give both, and sometimes not at all. Would say that, yeah, yeah. And it's like you can absolutely say like no gift expectations. Like, we have everything we need. We've been living together for however many years. Like, we don't need anything. Wait, anything you give us would be donated to somebody else because we don't need it. We already have our household set up the way we want, type of thing. Depending on how your friends are or your characters are getting their living arrangements situated. Monique says, "Lol, my D&D friends are inspiring me to put your characters at Renfest. You have no idea how that would fit into the plot, but maybe they can go to medieval times or something. That would be fun. That would be fun." Becca's caught up on all your emails and texts. Great. Stacy gathered all the books that you have not scanned, and they are now in a pile for the next sprint. Yay. Diane discovered a photo of person in earlier questionable photo that you were looking for with Michael Jackson, John Wayne, and Elvis, which made your day. Interesting. Very nice. So this person is either very well connected or had an extremely lucky day. So I'm not sure which one it is. All right, let's go ahead and do the third sprint. I'm determined to get some more of this done, but I think I will have to. I didn't run to the kitchen and get soda or anything this last sprint, but I think I will need to at this point. So let's go ahead and switch up the timer, I think. Okay. All right, should be showing now. Yes. Okay. So if you know, you know. Don't want to take your comments down that road. Should have kept it off. You don't have to. It's fine. It's fine. All right, we need 30 minutes. Save your document. Take a sip. Cheers. Three. Yes. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4 is if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that was sprint number 3. How are we doing? I feel like more progress was made. I did go get myself a small glass of soda, or I should say short glass. It's not really small, but just had a couple sips there at the beginning of the sprint. So yeah, so progress has been made. I think all told, maybe around like 700 or 800 total words added. I probably should have checked what my number was before I started fiddling with the outline. Really should have done that. But I did not. So now I just have to guesstimate. But yeah, we are getting some thunder. So looks like rain might be a little bit more higher chance than they were saying. Yeah, now we're having heavy rain forecast for the next hour. So, and it's gone from like a 45% chance to a 65% chance. So it's, I don't know, the weather forecast changes so quick that I don't know how anybody is making a living in a meteorology weather forecast, because it's never right. It's never right. Anyway, Kara recorded your full moon reading. That's to be posted tomorrow. Did you do a full moon or a new moon? Because Tuesday I have down as a new moon, and then the full moon's not until like the 29th. Do I have my moons off? You have to tell me, do I have my moons off? What do I have? I'm looking at my moon dates. July 14th is a new moon in Cancer, is what I have written down. Or are you just like doing it ahead of time? I don't know. Becca did some beta reading. Woohoo! Excellent. Good job. Diane says, "Oh, thanks for the reminder. I haven't pulled a card in days." Well, we had a card, so we had the turkey inverted card. Stacy scanned 12 books and updated their categories. Now you are down to 7 books that you manually enter. And you're watching vertical dramas as well. What is vertical dramas? Is that just like dramas that you're watching on your phone? What are vertical dramas? Microdramas, bite-sized soap operas designed for smartphone screens. Yeah, in portrait format. Okay, yeah. It figures that soap operas will come to your phone at some point, right? So they're super cheesy. Some of them are bad, some are good, and some just hurt. Yeah. All right, we have a pretty clear winner in terms of eggs. we have what is our main character's favorite way to eat eggs? 57% of our main characters prefer scrambled. 15%, well, it was all sort of tied at the 14% mark between fried, deviled, and in a cake. Mine would have been in a cake. Actually, I think mine would have been deviled, and then slightly behind it in a cake. And then fried, and then scrambled would be my lowest choice. So definitely a different answer from what I would have chosen today. But that is perfectly fine, because that's why we do the polls, to figure out sort of like what's the consensus. All right, y'all. Don't forget to save, especially in the season of thunderstorms. And yeah, so don't forget to save. Make sure you have enough hydration. Make sure that if you are driving on wet roads, you are driving safely. And I hope I will see y'all on Wednesday for the 15th for the right smack in the middle of the month. Yours travels and you have a feeling, you have a feeling scrambled or easier while traveling to eat. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And you can spice them up. Yes. But you can spice deviled eggs, the innards, somewhat. But you do need more supplies for it. That is very true. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good day, and I will hopefully see y'all soon. Bye.